think I'm live. Hello everybody, what's happening? Welcome back to another video. And I am live now. I think, yes, I am live. I think so. I just got to give it a little bit of weight here. Yes, I am live. Alright, hello everybody, what's happening? Welcome back to another video. So, of course, match preview of Real Madrid versus Villareal. This is going to take place at the Estadio de la Cerámica. Correct me if that's wrong. I speak a little bit of Spanish, but not a lot. It's been a while, it's been a while since I've done these streams. Glad to be back on it. It's, like I said, it's been a while, so good to see. Good to be back on it in general, I guess. James says, "What's up? What's up, man? I can't believe you're on. Thank you for being on. I really do appreciate that. It's about time I make a stream, isn't it? I mean, there's so much going on, and I haven't had a lot of time, and that is down to school. I just started school this week. Like James has told me before. I mean, he started school not so long ago, so he knows what it's like. It's tough, man. When you have school, when you have work, when you have this, when you have that, it can become quite tough to do these kinds of videos. So, anyways, I'm back here. So this is kind of nice to just be back overall. James says, Alphonse Areola. I know, I did hear about that. That is crazy. Areola, what a weird last name, right? We're just gonna make fun of his last name for a bit. But no, on a serious note. Alphonse Areola, we saw him at Villareal. I actually did see him at Villareal. I think he was on loan from PSG, and he was able to play for Villareal. What I have to say about Alphonse Areola is that I do like him as a goalkeeper. I think he's a good goalkeeper. He's a very good shot stopper. The only worry I have with Areola is that I hate saying that. The only worry that I have with Areola is that I have seen him make mistakes in the past, and it seems to be, I'm not sure if he still does it. I'm not sure if he still does it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have seen him, make mistakes here and there, and I just hope he doesn't do that. He doesn't, if he does come to Real Madrid, I hope he's eradicated that from his game. But I have seen that kind of tendency from him, and I know some goalkeepers are kind of more prone to this. I know, this is not a very good comparison, but Jordan Pickford is one who makes. Although he's kind of rated highly, like he's by the English, he's rated kind of highly. He does tend to make mistakes. It's kind of one of those keepers, although they're very good, they just tend to make mistakes. So a little apprehensive when it comes to Areola, but I have to say is that he's a very good shot stopper. And Jonas says, can't believe Real swap Areola for Navas. What an awful deal. I think so too. I think Navas is definitely the better goalkeeper, hands down. I think Areola is a decent keeper. The only worry, like I said, is just his mistakes. I just see a mistake in him, and that's the problem with Navas. It's just so secure with him, and that's what I really like about Navas. Hey, Real Madrid fan, good to see you. Thank you for being on. I know you were out I think it was on Wednesday or Tuesday that you were not able to make it. No worries, Real Madrid fan. Thank you for letting me know. Really appreciate that. And James says he's not great, but admittedly he's a backup for Courtois. Exactly, that's a good point, James. Obviously, we just need a backup to Courtois at this point. And look, the situation obviously is that if we do let go of Keylor Navas, then we do have to replace Keylor Navas. So yeah, having Areola as a backup could be fine. But look, Courtois he's not going through a good patch, so it's not looking good at the back, I guess you could say. And Jonas says 2 average goalkeepers. Perez is clueless. It's weird because it all started out so well. I was praising Perez. I thought he was doing a great job, for Real Madrid. I thought he was doing really good in terms of transfers. But when you look at the end of the transfer window, it hasn't been that great. Real Madrid fan says, "What is new with Real Madrid?" Well, the Areola seems to be coming on his way to Real Madrid, and then Navas seems to be going out the door to PSG. I know. Nice shirt. United's Red Army says nice shirts. Yes, it is nice, actually. Thank you for that. So actually, I had someone made it for me, to be honest. So I'm not going to take credit for those shirts, but they are a little different. So Real Madrid fan says, what is new? Say, yeah, Areola might come into the Bernabeu or to Real Madrid, and Keylor Navas might just go out the door. Hopefully that's not the case, but if it is the case, I guess we'll just have to deal with it. Another thing that I did want to say is Bruno Fernandes. That's another one that's new. Is that Bruno Fernandes it seems like he's going to come to Real Madrid. Bruno Fernandes, for me, never was going to go to Manchester United. I really didn't think he was going to go. I know the fan channels were, they were vacillating. They were saying, one day he's coming in, one day he's not coming in anymore. It was just the whole time, a whole summer they were dithering on this situation. Bruno Fernandes is still on. Bruno Fernandes is off. Bruno Fernandes is still on. And in the end, he didn't go. He didn't go. And I don't think that Manchester United were truly in for Bruno Fernandes. I have a feeling that what Manchester United were doing is they were having a look at him. They were kind of scouting him here and there, but they weren't necessarily in for him. And it's really analogous to the Ivan Perisic deal I think they had a couple of years ago. So I really don't think that Bruno Fernandes was, what I have to say is that I don't think Manchester United were truly interested in Bruno Fernandes. I think it was being hyped up a lot by the fan channels. But yeah, there you go. That's the rumors about Bruno Fernandes. I'm pretty sure that he is going to come to Madrid. If I could give a percentage, I'd say 90% that he's going to come to Real Madrid. And the reason that is because Real Madrid has a way bigger step to Manchester United. And I'm not trying to disrespect Manchester United, but at the moment, Real Madrid are just levels above Manchester United. And Bruno Fernandes, it seemed like it was in his mind. It seemed like it was already there that he had the intention of leaving. Obviously the Manchester United deal never materialized. So obviously I think he still has it in his head. He wants to leave. So that's why I think he's going to come to Real Madrid. And I think for Real Madrid, this would be a fantastic piece of business for us. 70 million, I believe the price tag would be. I mean, in today's market, you could say that's a steal, especially considering the stats that he has. I would take him any day of the week. Let's see. James says thoughts on the CL group. I did want to make a video of that. It's just I just haven't had the time, to be honest. It's been really I've been tight on time, and that's why I haven't been able to do any videos on this. I did see it a little bit. I think so. James says I think it's great in my opinion. PSG will be great to watch. Galatasaray away is always fun. Yeah, Galatasaray away is hostile environment. Galatasaray, I'd never want to go to Turkey. I'd never want to go near there just because it's so hostile. PSG will be a great watch. PSG should be an easy win, won't it? I mean, they're probably going to be without Neymar, but I'm not going to disrespect them too much, but I could take the Mickey out of PSG a little bit and say, you know what, they lost to Manchester United last year. To be honest, it's just crazy. But yeah, that's going to be a great one to watch. Galatasaray, that's going to be good. As you said, James. Let's see here. And Real Madrid fans was talking about Bruno Fernandes, and he was saying at this moment, I want anyone to come. We can't stay with that midfield. And Man United with Bruno, like our situation with Pogba. Yes, Real Madrid fan has a very good point. Actually, Man United to Bruno, and then Pogba, to Man United, exactly there. Pogba to Real Madrid, it was exactly the same situation. It was a little bit weird. In the end, it's going to be Bruno to Real Madrid, which pretty much no one really thought at the beginning of the transfer window, but it seems like that's going to happen, which is very, very good for us, obviously. Like Real Madrid fan was saying, we can't stay with this midfield at the moment. It's looking a bit dubious, Modric, Casemiro. Yes, they are good players on their day, and they have a lot of experience. You obviously have Cruz, you have Valverde, but I mean, can you do it throughout a season? They're obviously going to get injured eventually. Are they getting older? They are getting a bit older, so you don't want to go throughout the season with just only those midfielders. You do need to bring in someone else, and I think Bruno Fernandes will help so much in consolidating our midfield. Let's see. So James says, I heard some rumors say Bruno is coming, but he's signing now and coming next summer. But I don't know. I hope he's coming this summer. I really just hope he's coming this summer. And I just have a feeling Bruno Fernandes' deal is going to happen this summer. I know there's like 3 days left in our transfer window. Look, Real Madrid did make, what was it? With Rodrigo, I think it took 20 minutes to get the deal done. I think we can do it with Bruno Fernandes. I think it's going to happen. I think Bruno Fernandes has it in his mind to leave, and what I think is that if he doesn't leave this summer, he might not have the best of season. I'm not trying to extrapolate anything, but maybe I don't know. It's going to be on his mind. So I think Bruno Fernandes is set to just leave Sporting Lisbon. I think we saw that a little bit. Some of the preseason games, you saw him kind of quite emotional, quite, not, I don't know if he was crying or not, but you saw him quite emotional. So I have a feeling Bruno Fernandes is going to leave. Jonas says Real Madrid needs to stop gambling with signings by signing nobody like Jovic, Mendy, Militao. Well, Jovic has, one season, but Jovic has come in with some kind of reputation. I wouldn't say nothing, but they are gamble signings. They are a little bit, how can you say, you're kind of, I don't know how to say it, but yeah, you are kind of gambling a little bit, I would say. Jovic, obviously, I think he could come good for us. Mendy is a bit of a gamble. He's coming from the French league, but people who have seen Mendy, I think, have told me good things about him. So I think Mendy will come good for us. Militao, it is a bit of a gamble. He's coming from the Portuguese league, but I don't know. From what I've seen, the signs are there. I'd say the positive signs are there. They are a bit of a gamble, like you were saying, Jonas, but I think the good signs are there, and I wouldn't be too dismal. I think we should be excited by these signings. And yes, it is a gamble, but what signing isn't a gamble? I guess you could say. Yes, maybe somebody like Neymar isn't a gamble, but Neymar's off to Barcelona. We need to sign world-class players. Yeah, I mean, I guess we do, but look, I think these are good signings. But maybe, hopefully next summer we can do that, or hopefully in the January transfer window we can do that. Because yes, we do need to sign more players. I don't think we're done just quite yet. So I think at the moment, it's looking not the best, but I'm hoping that we do sign more players, come January. And James says, I hope Zidane lets Navas play one last time for us on Sunday, but I doubt he will. Yeah, I mean, it could happen, I guess, but I really hope Navas doesn't leave. I really hope that this is not true. I really hope that he stays. And, I mean, Zidane did say in the last press conference that Navas was going to stay, that he was going to be an important part to our club and things like that, and that he'll get a lot of playing time. But this is weird. I mean, it seems now that Navas is going to leave. So I hope this is not the case, but if it is the case, I mean, so be it. I mean, we'll just have to deal with a precarious goalkeeping situation, I guess. And Real Madrid fan says, I think Florentino Perez doesn't want to sign new players just so he can pay for the new stadium. That's a good point. After that, he will re-sign and be on the history of Real Madrid like Santiago Bernabeu. Hopefully he go out soon because he isn't doing good right now. He started off so well, and it went down the drain, really. It was really, really weird how it just started off so well, and then, I don't know. And James says, I don't know. I don't think Neymar will join Barca. Every time I hear that everything's agreed, it comes out as false. I think Neymar stays at PSG. That's a good one. And United's Red Army says, I agree, James. That's a very good point. It could definitely happen. I think Neymar staying at PSG. I don't want to say it can necessarily fully happen, but it's definitely a possibility. I know there's a lot of animosity in the crowd, and the crowd they hate Neymar with a passion, but I think that can be rekindled, as weird as that sounds. I think that relationship with the crowd, I think it can be rekindled, just because as football fans, I guess we are a little bit hypocrite. And what I mean by that is that, we like to, how can I say this? We like to say, oh, we like to boo players, that are not doing good and things like that. But once they start doing good, it's like, yeah, you know what? It's like the Gareth Bale situation. Gareth Bale was not doing good for a while. Gareth Bale out. Gareth Bale this. Gareth Bale that. Now Gareth Bale's doing good. Yay, let's keep Bale. Bale, like you're doing good. So we are a little bit hypocritical at times, I guess you could say. James says, imagine the atmosphere at the Bernabeu for Real versus PSG with Mbappe and possibly Neymar. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Mbappe will probably get a standing ovation and Neymar will get mixed reactions. Exactly. Ugh, Neymar. But you know what I have to say is Neymar just brought it up upon himself, That's what the thing with Neymar is, just he really didn't, it really just brought it upon himself. And with the comments that he made, it's just this guy, man, it feels like he has no brain. It feels like he has an IQ in the negatives. But as good in the real world, it feels like he has an IQ in the negatives, but what I have to say is, as a footballer, he is a good player. I did want to talk about, let's talk about the match preview a little bit. I did want to talk a little bit about the Alexis Sanchez situation. I know that's not relevant to us at all. I know this is Real Madrid. Alexis Sanchez played for Barcelona, but let me just get to Little Soccer League Academies. I heard Bruno Fernandes. So Little Soccer League Academy says, I heard Bruno Fernandes is set to join us. I'm hearing that too, Little Soccer League Academy, and it seems like he will join us. I think he will join us. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see him this season. This summer transfer window. I know it's like 3 days left in the summer transfer window, 2 days left. However, I think he will join. I think we can get this done really quickly. I think Bruno Fernandes is set to leave. I think it is in his mind already that he just wants to leave the club. Little Soccer League Academy says Zidane is urging Perez to make a 100 million bid, and Perez has agreed. Man, that's a lot of money. Also, Barca talks with PSG have broken down, and Perez wants to go after him. Mbappe has contacted Zidane to join Madrid next year. I hope so. That Mbappe, I know it's going to happen one day, but next year, yeah, that could be very good for us. I did want to talk about a little bit about Alexis Sanchez's situation. The reason I want to talk about it a little bit is, although Alexis Sanchez was a Barcelona player and everything like that, and whatever you want to say about Alexis Sanchez, is I want to say something about Alexis Sanchez. And the reason I want to say something about Alexis Sanchez is just because I feel like there's so much bad press or bad stuff being said around Alexis Sanchez, and I think it's very easy to just how can I say this? Just hop on the bandwagon and just say Alexis Sanchez this, Alexis Sanchez this, Alexis Sanchez has not done this, And what I want to say at the end of the day is, look, Alexis Sanchez has proved his quality in a Barcelona shirt and an Arsenal shirt, and I believe he's proved his quality in Italy already. So what I want to say about Alexis Sanchez is that it's not his fault that he hasn't made it at Manchester United. And you look at players who have really ultimately flopped at Manchester United, and I'll just go through a couple of them just to put things into perspective. Like I said, I just want to really just talk about it really quick. I don't want to make like an extensive kind of rant about it, but anyways, so let me just go through a list of a couple players who really flopped at Manchester United. I want to say, obviously Anderson, Jemba, Bebe, Manucho, who actually plays for Rayo Vallecano. There's players like Di Maria, Falcao, RVP, Depay, Morgan Schneiderlin, who went to Manchester United. Supposedly were going to be very good players for Manchester United and flopped. And the reason they flopped is just because Manchester United's situation at the moment, in a state of disarray, I guess you could say, and it's such in a bad situation that how can you succeed like that, And I guess that's what I have to say about Alexis Sanchez. Like I said, I just want to make this really quick. I don't think Alexis Sanchez deserves the stick that he's getting. He's flawed, but I think ultimately what it comes down to is really that the whole team is just in such in a bad state. So anyways, I just wanted to talk about that. Obviously, I want to get into the match preview right now. Real Madrid fan says Pogba has problems with Man United now. I think if we made a decent offer, we will come. Yes, I think, I think if Real Madrid would have made a decent offer, I think he would have come to Real Madrid. I think the only reason that he didn't come to Real Madrid is because the Florentino Perez, they weren't very concrete, or they weren't very adamant in their pursuits of Paul Pogba. So I think that's why the Paul Pogba situation has ultimately failed. Because Paul Pogba had it in mind to come to Real Madrid. He said the right things to come to Real Madrid. I think it's just really the board that didn't want him enough. Zinedine Zidane obviously wanted him. It really just came down to the board not wanting him enough. So Little Soccer League Academy says, "Hi guys, hi David, I just joined, so please give me an update on this video as a brief update in the last couple of videos." Yeah, thank you so much, Little Soccer Academy. Sorry, I couldn't give much of an update. So let me just give you an update. I think the last video that I made, I think I was talking about La Liga a little bit. I didn't go over it too much, but there was a couple things about La Liga. If we can win it this year and things along those lines. And I think with the current squad, we can't obviously win it. I think this year we won't win a lot of silverware. But look, football works in cycles. We can't win every year, and what we have to say is, maybe this year it'll be a bit of a transition, but hopefully we can just win, at least if it's a couple of trophies, just to have Zidane just stay, or just to have Zidane learn the trade a little bit more. Because like I said before, Zidane's ascendance to the footballing world was very, very quick. And what I mean by that is that he never really had the chance to really learn the trade, fully. And he never really had time to learn the process, As you learn things, you have to learn the process. And if you don't learn the process, if you just go from, let's say, from $0 to being a millionaire, you're going to waste it like that. And the reason being is you don't learn, the appreciation you have for those $1 million. So I think for Zidane, it's going to be more about a learning curve and a learning year for him. Let's see. So if Real Madrid fan says, if we sign Mbappe, we don't need to sign any player for the next 4 years. He is the best right wing right now. But look at what happens to the signing of Neymar this summer and how difficult it is. Mbappe signing will be more difficult. I think Mbappe is going to be very, very difficult. If we can't go for him, we can't go for him. I mean, you know what? We have Kubo, we have Odegaard. I mean, they can certainly do the job. They're very young. So, I mean, if we can't do Mbappe, we can't do it. We shouldn't we shouldn't get on our knees and beg for for PSG. We should let PSG know that we have different options, and we're not supplicating to them. We're not getting on our knees to say, please give me Mbappe, please, I want Mbappe. No, it's not like that. We have to, we have to. It's kind of. I'm going to make this kind of a bit of a funny analogy here, but it's kind of like going after a girl, right? After a girl you really like. You chase her, and your pursuit of her is relentless. You just go after her, and then it becomes to the point of desperation, and after that, the girl, she's kind of repulsed by it, she doesn't want you anymore, and if you show different options to that girl, if you show that's not the only girl you want, obviously that girl will be like, well, he has different options, and she's going to consider it more. So it's going to be, the PSG situation, I feel like, is a bit like that. We don't want to get on our knees and say, please give me Mbappe. It's more like, if we get him, and if we don't, we don't. Let's see. Nice Day says he was greedy for going to Man U. His head wasn't completed in United. He knew City was the better club. I think that's good. Nice Day. I like that. However, the only thing I have to say as a counter argument is that I don't think he ever envisaged his Manchester United career going that way. I think he envisaged it as maybe, he would have gotten more money, and how can I say this? He would have gotten more money, but he also envisaged a career where it would have gone a lot better than what it had gone, I guess. And right now his career is really, it's gotten to the point where it's just abject. It's the lowest of lows. It's very, very sad for Alexis Sanchez. I really hope to see him succeed because, look, I really, really admire him as a player. I think his work rate is phenomenal. I think he's a very professional player. And look, what I have to say is that if an employer offered you, let's say, I don't know, $50 an hour, and you have another employer who offers $35 an hour, you would go to the employer that offers you $50 an hour ultimately. And it's only normal. It's only, I would say, human for for a person to go after more money. It's kind of normal. And although it's quite, I would say, extortionate amount of money, is what I have to say is that I don't think he really ever envisaged his career going that trajectory. Let's see. So Real Madrid, So Little Soccer League Academy says also I hear Zidane and Perez are massive fans of Kai Havertz. Yeah, Kai Havertz could be quite interesting. Perez is thinking of making a bid of 90 to 100 million, but wants to go all out on this coming January or this summer. I think it's going to be that summer. I don't think January we're going to make very, very big signings. I think we'll make signings, but I don't think it's going to be that big. I think if we're going to go after Kai Havertz, it's going to be next summer. And James says, do you reckon Mendy will start on Sunday? I did put him in the starting lineup, James, and what I have to say, I'm not 100% sure. I'm a little bit... I would say I'm not too sure about this, but what I have to say is that Ferland Mendy could be fit for this Sunday, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was actually Chuck Weezy. If you guys know, Chuck Weezy played for Real. I think he's been there for a year and a half or 2 years or something along those lines, and now he's gotten linked to Arsenal and things like that. And I think it was last year where Marcelo and Sergio Ramos were really, really having trouble with Chuck Weezy. So I think if we have a physical presence of Ferland Mendy, I think he will do really good versus Chuck Weezy. So that's what I have to say about that. I hope to see Mendy starting in the weekend just because I feel like he'll do a better job of dealing with Chuck Weezy. Real Madrid fan says, I'm going to cry, dude. Benzema will stay until 2021. Some people will cry, some people will not. Benzema, look, man, at the end of the day, he's inconsistent, and I don't really like it, but, I don't know. I don't know what to think about Benzema, I feel like Jovic, if he can come good this year, then obviously we should be looking to replace Benzema, but I feel like Benzema is very, very dynamic, can provide us with something different. Obviously, I would like to see Jovic coming good this year. But like I said, Benzema just offers us so much. And yes, although he's inconsistent, he's very dynamic for a striker. You don't see a lot of strikers with that quality. James says, it's funny how all 5 of our signings were bought before the transfer window opened. And unless Bruno joins, we won't have signed anyone since it opened. Areola is a loan swap, so we don't really, guess it doesn't really count. Yeah, that's a good idea. And Little Soccer League Academy says, did you hear that Sergio Reguilon is absolutely blowing away La Liga? I saw him the other day, and he was fantastic. Really, really good performance. I think he got a goal, so he is doing really good. And I'm very, very happy to see that. I really liked Reguilon, actually, last year under Santiago Solari. James says, I like the analogy, brother. Probably, I got a little bit of it from Goldbridge, I have to say. A little bit of influence from Goldbridge. But Oh no, it's got a bit of me, I guess. A bit of me. So John says, let's hope Sanchez destroys Barcelona. I hope so too, man. I hope so too. And Little Soccer League Academy says also, I hear Perez wants to make a last mega bid for Neymar. Man, I don't know. Hopefully, but I really think Neymar is set on Barcelona. I really have a feeling he's going to go to Barcelona, and like I said, I think he's just going to go. I always saw it as a 4 out of 10 for Real Madrid, so I'm not sure. And Little Soccer League Academy says, I love your analogy, bro. That's funny. Thank you so much. Little Soccer League Academy says, also, Zidane is urging Zidane to bid heavily for Pogba and want to buy French wonder kid Eduardo. Dang, I don't know this guy. Camavinga, with the biggest targeting, absolutely bossed PSG in the midfield. You should check him out. Man, all these youngsters just coming out. It's crazy. But anyways, yeah, let's. I just want to talk about the match preview a little bit. So I'm just going to talk about it really quick. I'm going to try to get to your comments shortly. But obviously, Villareal had a bad season last season. We all know that they were, 4th, 5th, and 6th, I think, in the seasons prior to that. And I think it was really last season where they ended up really, really abysmal. It was like 14 players or something like along those lines. It was like, they amassed, I think it was like in the 40 points. It was like 40-something points. And so they didn't have a very good season last season, but they did bring in quite a few good players. Obviously, they do have Baca, but Baca is aging. I think he's 31, 32. I'm not even sure how old he is, but he is aging. He's a older Baca than he used to be. Older cow, I guess, for the Spanish speakers. And Chukwueze, obviously, looking like a huge talent, was linked to Arsenal, I believe, last January, I think. So Chukwueze was one to look out for. Obviously, Santi Cazorla, former Arsenal player, and Anguissa, that's another player to look out for. So they've got a few players that can, obviously hurt us on the break. So I think we'll set up a little bit more defensively, obviously, as the football pitch. So it's Cruz and Casemiro in the double pivot role, obviously with the back four. So I think it's going to be something along those lines. I think we're not going to be all-out attack. I think it's going to be a little bit more conservative just because it is away from home. And Villareal, they're a side that likes to score goals. So I think there's going to be some goals in this game. What else did I want to say? Let me just check. I know there was a couple sales. Obviously, they did get rid of a couple players. They got rid of Villareal, got rid of Fornals, they got rid of Soriano, Cheryshev, and Sansoni have all left the club. So there's a few players that have left the club. So what I have to say, maybe that could help us a little bit. But like I said, they have Chukwueze, they have Baca, they have Anguissa, Cazorla. So I think they're going to be looking to hurt us on the break. Or not on the break, but I think what I have to say is I think Real will put in a good performance. I don't know if we're going to win. Actually, let me know in the comments what you guys think the game will end up being. I have a feeling it's just going to be a draw or something. I think it's going to be either 2-2. It just might be 4-3 for Real Madrid. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know. I think we're going to get scored on quite a bit tomorrow. That's what I have to say. Unless we can keep not tomorrow, is it Sunday? Unless we can keep Chukwueze quiet and players obviously like Baca and things like that quiet, then I think we should be fine. But I just have a feeling we'll get scored on. I think it's going to be something like 2-2. Maybe we could win 3-2 or something like that. But like I said, I just have a feeling it's going to be a very, very high scoring game. So there you have it. I put the lineup as that. I put Vinicius Jr. on the left. I put Bale on the right. And the reason for that, obviously, is Hazard is still injured. He's still going to be out for a little. Brahim Diaz is still out injured. I mean, we got quite a few injuries. I did want to talk about that a little bit. Obviously, there's been so many injuries ever since those two fitness coaches have left. I think they left for Inter Milan, if I'm not mistaken, to join Conte. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure, so don't take my word for that. But ever since those two coaches left, it's just been, player after player just getting injured time and time again. So far, the players that are not playing or that are not going to be featured in Sunday's game is obviously Marco Asensio. You got Brahim Diaz, Isco, James, and Eden Hazard. I don't think I'm missing anyone. Correct me if I'm wrong. But those are the players that will be missing for Sunday. I think Mendy's going to be ready. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he will be ready. So yeah, obviously those are the players that will miss. Let's see. So Johnny says, I think Real Madrid will win 2-0. Oh, hopefully we get a clean sheet. I'm really hoping we get a clean sheet. I'm not 100% sure, obviously, that I think we're playing away, so I'm a little bit scared, but we'll have to see, I guess. A Real Madrid fan says Real Madrid retreated from signing Neymar. What's funny is Real Madrid media spent the whole summer that whenever Barcelona make an offer to him, Real Madrid will make bigger offer. All lies, man. I have a feeling that I don't, although I think Real Madrid would have liked Neymar, I think it could have happened. It's just like I don't think it was real. I don't think it was ever really a possibility. And the reason I say that is just because it was Neymar always had this affinity for Barcelona, obviously for Messi and things along those lines. I think with that being said, I don't think coming to Real Madrid, I think that friendship would have really would have been fractured. It would have created some tension, some animosity. I think that's the last thing Neymar would have wanted. Let's see. So James says, I hope we win, but I think it'll be another 2-2. Have a feeling we're just going to tie. I don't know if we're going to tie or if we're just barely going to win, but it's something along those lines. I have a feeling it's either going to be a tie or we're going to win 3-2 or something along those lines. But I really think it's not going to be too much. There's not going to be too much difference. Let's see here. So Little Soccer League Academy says, I hear Perez wants to make a 60 million bid for Eriksen on deadline day to force Spurs' hand in. If the bid fails, he wants to swap him with Bale or Mike him. I did read about that, Little Soccer League Academy. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen. I think Bale is going to be set to stay at the club. Would I have liked something like that? Not really, to be honest. Like, we have James Rodriguez. Isco. Could we do another season with Isco? Fine with me. And we have those players ultimately. And I don't know if we really should waste our energy just going after someone that, is he really going to bring something different to the team? I don't know. Obviously, like I said, if we would have sold James Rodriguez, then I think bringing Christian Eriksen would have been a good idea. But we didn't sell James Rodriguez. I'm quite surprised with that. Let's see here. So Little Soccer League Academy also says, also many reports saying Perez and Zidane are massive fans of Sancho and wants to make a 160 million bid next summer, but we face heavy competition for him with both Manchester's and interested and Juve and PSG. So yeah, obviously Sancho. A lot of people have been talking to me about Sancho, and actually I do have to say I do rate the guy. He looks like a really good player. Obviously it's very easy to say that on paper they look very good, and then obviously they come and it's just like it goes like a disaster, right? But Jadon Sancho could be a very good player. I'm always, like I said, I'm always mixed. I always have ambivalent feelings with English players. I think that's just old school thinking. But the thing with English players, the thing with them, look, I'm gonna say it. The thing with them is that I just don't think that they have the right. It's not the right mentality, but it's they haven't exactly undergone the struggles that maybe someone like. Alexis Sanchez would have, maybe Ronaldo. I can't even think of other players, but they haven't had those kinds of struggles where they come from very, very poor backgrounds and they've suffered, and those kinds of backgrounds where they've had to work their way up. And I just feel that's what I feel with English players. Is that really? I would say, is the rationale behind that legitimate? I mean, you could argue yes. I mean, because obviously English players obviously have it a lot easier, and I just feel like their mentality is a bit weak. But I mean, obviously he could be a good player. He could be a good player. I think we'll just have to see. I think he could be good coming to Real Madrid. I don't know. I wouldn't want to do it, but I think if he would go to somewhere like England, I think he would be good. I think he would be a fantastic. Perfect for one of the Manchester clubs, but I think to Real Madrid or to Barcelona, I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. Jonas says, 2-1 win for Real Madrid. Yeah, that could be good. Actually, that's a good one, Jonas. I think that's a good prediction. 2-1 for Real Madrid, I think could be good, obviously, because our defense has done pretty good, I'd have to say, in the past couple weeks. So, obviously, maybe we'll just concede one goal. That would be good. And James says, is Bruno a cam or just a CM? I think Bruno can play both positions. I think he's more of an attacking. He's got more of the attacking, I would say, inclination. Is that a good word? More of an attacking tendency, but I think he can play a CM position as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. And Jonas says, I'm not sure about Sancho. The English players don't fit Spanish football. Yes, exactly, Jonas. That's a very good point. I like Sancho, but it's weird because, obviously Gareth Bale was just one other example where Gareth Bale, although he made his mark at Madrid, was he really a good player for Real Madrid? If you look at his career, all throughout his tenure at Real Madrid, was he really a good player where you could just say, oh, world class? He was a world class player. He was a very, very good player, this and that. Gareth Bale was a very good player for us, but it came sporadically. It came, and it's not just because of injuries. It's just because technically he wasn't as gifted. Obviously, Jadon Sancho is a very, very different player. I think technically he is very gifted. But, you look at a player like Gareth Bale, who, yes, he's been good for us, but I don't think he's necessarily made it, and he's necessarily impacted it in the way that maybe if he would have stayed at England, I think he would have impacted it a lot more. So I guess that's what I have to say about it. And Little Soccer League Academy says, I heard we've reached an agreement for Donny Van de Beek, and are yet to make it official and are going to buy him next year. Yes, I did hear about that too. So it seems like we'll be buying him next year. That's what I'm hearing also. Hopefully we do. I mean, like I said, we do need midfielders. And if we can get a couple, that would be great. Jonas says, Bale had 2 good seasons, but that's it. Yeah, and I guess that's what it comes down to. I mean, Bale is very much, he'll have good moments here and there, but he's never really able to do it throughout a season, partly because of injuries and partly, I feel, because of the way he plays. He's obviously a world-class player, but he's not a very technically gifted player, and I just feel like the league plays in part with that, obviously. But yeah, Bale, it's difficult to say with Bale. I like Gareth Bale, but I just feel like his career at Madrid it's just been stop and go. And Little Soccer League Academy says Bruno can be very good for us, and during his time in Italy, he has 3.1 tackles, interceptions per game. And yeah, I mean, Bruno, I think, will be fantastic. I saw his stats. I was just completely amazed with them. I think he will come good for Real Madrid, and I was so mind blown by his stats. It's unbelievable, but it is the Portuguese league, so we have to keep that in mind, obviously. And Little Soccer League Academy says, I hear Joao Felix, younger brother. Hugo Felix is very good, and a lot of bad boys are interesting. Man, a younger brother of Joao Felix, that would be great. Hopefully he can be like Joao Felix. But if he's a younger brother, yeah, we should scout him. But hey, we can't extrapolate, right? We can't extrapolate and say that the younger brother is going to be just as good. You look at Pogba, and he has 2 brothers, and they haven't been nearly as good as Paul Pogba. Obviously, they play in different positions, but yeah. Little Soccer League Academy says, we need to go after Joao Felix in the next few seasons. He's very good. I think that's a good point. Little Soccer League Academy, Atletico have stolen our players. Why not just steal theirs? And Real Madrid fan says, I don't blame Zidane if we didn't win a single trophy this year. We wanted Pogba and James and Bale out. That didn't happen. I don't blame him either, to be honest. I have to say I do blame him a little bit, but it's going to be more of a 50-50. If I'm going to give Zidane till December, and if things don't improve, then I think at that point maybe we can further assess the situation and look at maybe other things and other managers. But I don't think I want to give the full blame for Zinedine Zidane just because he wasn't fully backed in the transfer window. Let's see. So it's obviously the game on Sunday is going to be quite interesting. This is my setup. Obviously, Courtois in goal. Mendy. I put Mendy and Militao. I don't think that's going to happen, but I put Mendy and Militao in there. Hopefully, Mendy can deal with the physical presence like Chukwueze. He's strong. He's not the biggest guy, but he's pretty strong for a guy who's pretty slim. And Chukwueze obviously has pace, so he's very tough to defend against. I think Marcelo and Sergio Ramos were just getting they were getting ripped apart by Chukwueze, I have to say. So there's the formation that I have for this Sunday. I'm going to end it, guys, in like 3 minutes or so. So I just want to give you guys a warning. I just wanted to quickly summarize. And Jonas says, exactly, Real Madrid fan, Perez is the problem. Yes, I think Perez. It's tough because Perez, he does some good things, but he does some bad things, and it's the bad things that you just hear like, oh, why did he do that again? So yeah, Perez can be a bit of a contentious president, but you know what? Perez is a lot better than you look at Kroenke, look at Ed Woodward, and these are horrible presidents, man. So I think I'd rather have Perez, to be honest. And Little Soccer League Academy says, I think we need another center back like Ruben Diaz, and in the future activate De Ligt's release clause. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, look, De Ligt, if he comes good, yes, I think we should activate his release clause. I don't know what it is. It could be quite a bit, though. Especially these days, like the clubs know that, release clauses, they know that release clauses, the clubs will be looking to activate them. So I think that's why they're so high these days. I have a feeling De Ligt might be highs too, but I really don't know. United's Red Army says Lingard would be great for Real Madrid. He's still 17 and has potential, though. Just kidding, he's 27, running around for United. And Jonas says Lingard is English Lucas Vasquez. Yeah, that's right. Lingard is the English Lucas Vasquez. We already have our Lingard, United's Red Army. Don't worry about that. Yeah, Lingard, man. This guy, dude. I have to say, Lingard, I don't know what he's still doing at Manchester United, but somehow he's still there. And you could say the same thing about Lucas Vasquez, but what I have to say about Lucas Vasquez is for the 15-20 minutes of the end of the game, he does a pretty decent job. And Lingard, to be honest, does he do that for Manchester United? I haven't seen it so far. He's got a good few months, but that's about it. And so that's the thing with Lingard, I guess, that you could say. 150 million for delay. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much where I'm going to end it, guys. Like I said, I just wanted to give the match preview. Obviously, you got a few players that are injured. Asensio, Brahim Diaz, Isco, James, and Hazard, they're still going to be out. Mendy's one to look out for. I have a feeling he could start. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe Zidane will be looking to, continue, I would say, with that team cohesion. So he might be, looking to play Marcelo. But I would like to see Mendy there just because I would say he has the pace, he has the physicality to deal with someone like Chukwueze. I feel like he'd deal with them a little bit better. I put Eder Militao in there just because Varane, man, it's been up and down for him, really. I have to say, I don't know if I rate him too highly, but I don't know how we won 3 Champions League with him. I don't know, man, but Varane is just up and down these days. So that's why I put Militao in there. Whether we'll see him or not, I really don't think so. I think we'll see Rafael Varane in there. I just put Militao there. And I think we'll go with that midfield 3 with Cruz, Casemiro, and Modric. I don't think there's too many surprises there. And in the front 3, I think we'll see Vinicius Jr. just because Hazard I don't think will feature in the match. He might feature as a sub. Maybe he's going to be fit, but I really don't think he's going to be fit. And Benzema in the number 9 and Bale in the 11. So I think we're going to see a pretty similar team is what I have to say. Let's see. So that's all I have for you guys today. I'm going to just go over the last few comments and then I'll end it there. Little Soccer League Academy says, let's bring Mbappe, future Ballon d'Or. And also, I'm with you. I do have my apprehensions with English players, but I'm a massive fan of Sancho. That's why, you know what, Little Soccer League Academy, I have to say you do bring up a good point. I think when you're a massive fan of a certain player, it's like you just can't, I'd say, you just want to stick with that player. You just want him to come to the club. And I totally understand that in you, Little Soccer League Academy. And he also says, I do have my worries, but I want Sancho and Mbappe to come. Yeah, I think they would be good players. I think Sancho could be a good player for us. And, obviously I have said, I'm apprehensive and things like that, but I think he could come good for us. But whether he can assimilate to that, I don't know. It's old school thinking, like I said. Maybe there's not much rationale to it. And James says, see ya, man. Will you be doing another stream tomorrow or after the game on Sunday? Thank you for that, James. I'm really sorry I didn't answer that before. So this, man, my work schedule is convoluted. So the match reaction, I don't think I will be able to do one, unfortunately. I will be able to do one the day after, but the day of, I will not be able to do it. I'm going to work, and I have to say, like I said, I won't be able to do it. I'm so sorry. I wish I would have been able to, but work is work. Got to do it. And Jonas says, see ya, buddy. Take care, Jonas. Thank you so much for being on. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate your loyalty, man. Thank you so much. And Varane needs to be more aggressive, by the way. Yeah, that's the thing with Varane. I think he's very, very docile, and he just needs to find that aggressivity in him. Think of an ex-girlfriend, right, or something like that. Think of an ex-girlfriend that made you bad and just be like, you know what, I'm going to go, full ham on this game. So, yeah, Varane needs to really get out of his shell a little bit. And Real Madrid fan says, enjoy your day, bro. Hopefully Barcelona, hopefully they do lose. Thank you so much for that. And Little Soccer League Academy says, Mbappe can play across the front line even as Cam. His versatility can help in many different systems. Yeah, definitely. Mbappe can, we've seen it, he can play quite a diverse range of positions. So, yeah, I think Mbappe could be a good player for, something like Real Madrid where, yeah, maybe at the moment, maybe in a couple of years we'll be missing, a few players in key positions. Little Soccer League said, nice teamwork, guys, and delete release clause is 150 million. Oof, that's a lot of money for a center back. Like, hey, you never know. In a couple of years, 150 million? Yeah. And also Scout Florentino Luis, the Portuguese content dubbed by many, man, Portuguese content. And James says, no problem, man, was just asking work is important. Thank you so much, James. Really appreciate the understanding. Like I said, won't be able to do match reaction. I'll probably let you guys know on the Instagram. But there you have it, guys. I'm going to end it right there. Thank you so much, guys, for being on. Thank you for your loyalty. I really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate everyone who comes on and. Like I said, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm going to end it there. Won't be able to do the match reaction on Sunday, but I think on Monday, I will be able to do some kind of match reaction. So probably on Monday, you'll see me kind of, ranting and saying things, saying a few things about the game. So there you have it, guys. I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good day. Have a good night, wherever you're at.